Hey guys, it's Minette. I'm really excited to announce that today is my first video tutorial for the Great Impressions Rubber Stamps blog. I was just asked to join their DT a little while ago. July will be my first month, and every month I will be doing 2 video tutorials for you. So for my very first technique, what I've chosen is a technique called triple time stamping. I'm sure you've seen this. It makes your images look like you took a ton of time to line them up and stamp them perfectly, but you really didn't. So let me give you a little bit of a close-up. The stamps that I've used on this card are water irises, seagrasses, and the sentiment, which says "A Day Just for Friends," is called "For Friends." All 3 of these stamps you can get in the Great Impressions online store, or if you have a retailer in your area, you can go and grab them real quick. They're reasonably priced, they're a fabulous product, and I would really recommend them. So the first thing you're going to need when you're getting ready to do your triple time stamping is some white pieces of paper. Now, the measurements were listed on the blog, but just for sake of time and things like that, I'm going to tell you them again. So the smallest white piece that you're going to need is 2 inches by 3 1/4. Your middle size is 3 inches by 4 1/4, and the biggest one is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. And as you saw, they were all stuck together, but when you stick them together and lay them on top of each other like this, make sure that you use removable adhesive because you're going to need to take them apart after you stamp on them to add your mats. So after I've got them all put back together like this, I'm going to take the water irises image and I'm going to ink it up with my black StazOn. And when I have a large stamp like this, I like to ink it up upside down because then I can see if the ink is going on, if it's on all the way, etc., etc. Let me see right there. Okay, so then I'm just going to take my image and I'm going to stamp. And you're going to want to kind of press hard so that you get as much detailed stamping on there as possible. Don't rock your stamp though, because if you rock it, you're going to end up with double images and that's not going to look nice. Okay, now, if it comes out like this and it's not perfect, you can see I have gaps, do not panic. That is okay. That's part of the process. It will be okay because you're going to end up matting this. Now, the other thing that I did before I started coloring and then layering was I took the Seagrasses stamp and I kind of created a little bit of a scene by stamping that in a light green color. I'm using Sage Shadow by Stampin' Up, if anybody wants to know. Oops. I did a big one here, and it looks like we're going to make this an off-the-page one so that I can kind of fix my mistake there. And a big one here. And like I said, don't worry if it's not lining up perfectly. And then a little one right there. Okay, so now that I've got all of that stamped, I'm going to color in my lined image. And since that's going to take a little while, I'm going to cut out for just a second, but I will be right back. Okay, I'm back and I've colored in my image. I used the same Sage Shadow for the leaves and I used Pale Plum and Perfect Plum for the flowers. And if you can see, let me find a good area where I did it, kind of right here. I kind of added a little bit of green where it's coming apart right there, just in case the matting doesn't cover that up so that at least it'll be green. The other thing that you can do to add a little bit of interest to this is you can take and you can edge your panels if you want to. And that just kind of gives it a little bit more interest. I'm using Baja Breeze, it's a blue, so that makes it look more like a scene. And you can do that to each of your edges. I'm going to finish doing that and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and I have my panels edged. And now what you're going to do at this point is you're going to use permanent adhesive and you're going to put them onto the mats. The size of the matting needs to be, for the smallest size, 2 1/4 by 3 1/2. The medium size is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And the largest one is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which is going to be your half size A2 card. So I'm going to mat those together and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have all my pieces matted and now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take and adhere them one on top of the other. just like they were before, but this time with the mats. And as you can see, as I do this, any imperfections are covered by that mat, which is awesome. So let me pop this one on there. And voila, there you go. Look at that. That is my completed triple time stamping panel. All of the matting covered all the issues that I had before, and the sponging on the edges gave it a little bit extra interest. Let me show you some other little things you can do to embellish this. Let me get my other card that was finished. So like I said, I added this sentiment, which is called For Friends. I added a couple of rhinestones onto that little panel, and then I just added some liquid pearls to kind of accent this scene. Another thing you could do is you could leave it without a sentiment. You could put some ribbon down here, maybe a little bit of fake flowers down here. Play around with it, see what you can come up with. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Stay tuned. Next time I'm going to teach you how you can stamp some beautiful silhouette images with gelatos, and it'll look like you've watercolored a little bit of a painting for your card. The supplies that you'll need for that are listed at the end of this post. Until next time, friends, happy stamping!